Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Chamal Rajpaksha ji, Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Shriman Ranil Wickremesinghe ji, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Nimal Siripala Silva, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished guests, I am truly delighted to visit Sri Lanka, a land of beauty, culture, and friendship. I am deeply honored to be in this Parliament. I am conscious of its rich history. This Parliament represents one of Asia's oldest democracies and one of its most vibrant. Long before many others in the world, Sri Lanka gave every individual a vote and voice. To the people of Sri Lanka, Ayubowan, Vanakkam, I bring the greetings of 1.25 billion friends and millions of fans of Sri Lanka cricket. I bring the blessings from the land of Bodh Gaya to the land of Anuradhapura. I stand here in respect of our shared heritage and in commitment to our shared future. Last May, when I took the oath of office, I was honored by the presence of South Asian leaders at the ceremony. Their presence was celebration of democracy's march in our region. I was also recognition of our common destiny. I am convinced that the future of any country is influenced by the state of its neighborhood. The future that I dream for India is also the future that I wish for our neighbors. We in the region are on the same journey to transform the lives of our people. Our path will be easier, the journey quicker, and destination nearer when we walk step in step. As I stand here in Colombo and I look north toward the Himalaya, I marvel at our region's uniqueness of our rich diversity and our common civilizational links. We have been formed from the same elements and from our interconnected histories. Today, we stand together as proud independent nations, sovereign and equal. India and Sri Lanka do not have a land boundary, but we are the closest neighbors in every sense. No matter where you look in India or Sri Lanka, the many strands of our links, religion, language, culture, food, customs, tradition, and epic come together into a deep and strong bond of familiarity and friendship. Ours is a relationship that is beautifully defined by the journey of Mahindra and Sanghmitra. They carried the message of peace, tolerance, and friendship more than 2 millenniums ago. It is evoked by Kannagi, the central character of the great Tamil epic Silapathikaram, who is worshipped as a goddess, the Patini. In Sri Lanka, it lives in the Ramayana trail in Sri Lanka. It expresses itself in devotion at the Dargah of the Nagore Anandavar and the Christian shrine of Velankani. It is reflected in the friendship of Swami Vivekananda and Anagarik Dharmapal, the founder of the Mahabodhi Society in Sri Lanka and India. It lies in the work of Mahatma Gandhi's followers in India and Sri Lanka. Above all, our friendship thrives through the interwoven lives of ordinary Indians and Sri Lanka. Our independent life began at about the same time. Sri Lanka has made remarkable progress since then. The nation is an inspiration for our region in human development. Sri Lanka is home to enterprise and skill and extraordinary intellectual heritage. There are businesses of global class here. Sri Lanka is a leader in advancing cooperation in South Asia. And it is important for the future of the Indian Ocean region. Sri Lanka's progress and prosperity is also a source of strength for India. So, Sri Lanka's success is of great significance to India. And as a friend, our good wishes and our support and solidarity have always been with Sri Lanka. And it will be always be there for you. For all of us in our region, our success depends on how we define ourselves as a nation. All of us in the region, indeed every nation of diversity, have dealt with the issues of identities and inclusion, of rights and claims of dignity and opportunity for different sections of our society. We have all seen its diverse expressions. We have faced tragic violence. We have encountered brutal terrorism. We have also seen successful examples of peaceful settlements. Each of us has sought to address these complex issues in our own ways. However, we choose to reconcile them. To me, something is obvious. Diversity can be a source of strength for nations. When we accommodate the aspirations of all sections of our society, the nation gets the strength of every individual. And when we empower states and districts and villages, we make our country stronger and stronger. You can call this my bias. I have been a chief minister for 13 years, a prime minister for less than a year. Today, my top priority is to make the states in India stronger. I am a firm believer in cooperative federalism. So, we are developing more power and more resources to the states, and we are making them formal partners in national decision-making processes. Sri Lanka has lived through decades of a tragic violence and conflict. You have successfully defeated terrorism and brought the conflict to an end. You now stand at a moment of historic opportunity to win the hearts and heal the wounds across all sections of society. Recent elections in Sri Lanka have reflected the collective voice of the nation, the hope for change, reconciliation, and unity. The steps that you have taken in recent times are bold and admirable. They represent a new beginning. I am confident of a future of Sri Lanka defined by unity and integrity, peace and harmony, and opportunity and dignity for everyone. I believe in Sri Lanka's ability to achieve it. It is rooted in our common civilizational heritage. The path ahead is a choice that Sri Lanka has to make. And it is a collective responsibility of all sections of the society and of all political streams in the country. But I can assure you of this, for India, the unity and integrity of Sri Lanka are paramount. It is rooted in our interests. It stems from our own fundamental beliefs in this principle. Honorable Speaker and distinguished members, my vision of an ideal neighborhood is one in which trade, investments, technology, ideas, and people flow easily across borders. When partnerships in the region are formed with the ease of routine. In India, the growth momentum has been restored. India has become the fastest growing major economy in the world. The world sees India as the new frontier of economic opportunity. But our neighbors should have the first claim on India. And I again repeat, the first claim on India is to our neighbors, to Sri Lanka. I'll be happy if India serves as a catalyst in the progress of our neighbors. In our region, Sri Lanka has the potential to be our strongest economic partner. We will work with you to address your concerns, to boost trade and make it more balanced. India's trade environment is becoming more and more open. Sri Lanka should not fall behind others in this competitive world. That is why we should conclude an ambitious, comprehensive economic partnership agreement. India can also be a natural source of investments for exports to India and elsewhere, and to build your infrastructure. We have made good progress today. Let us work together to harness the vast potential of ocean economy. Our two nations must also take the lead in increasing cooperation in the South Asian region and the linked BMISTIC region. Connecting this vast region by land and sea, our two countries can become engines of regional prosperity. I also assure you of India's full commitment to development partnership with Sri Lanka. We see this as a responsibility of a friend and a neighbor. India has committed $1.6 billion in development assistance. Today, we have committed further assistance of up to $380 million to the railway sector. We will continue our development partnership. We will be guided by your government, and we will do so for the same level of transparency that we expect in our own country. Last month, we signed the agreement on cooperation in peaceful use of the nuclear energy. More than anywhere else in the region, I see enormous potential to expand cooperation with Sri Lanka in areas like agriculture, education, health, science and technology, and space. Indeed, we are limited only by our imagination. We hope that Sri Lanka will take full benefit of India's satellite for the SAARC region. This should be in space by December 2016. People are at the heart of our relationship. When we connect people, bonds between nations become stronger. That is why we have decided to extend the visa on arrival facility to Sri Lankan citizens. We will also increase connectivity between our countries. We will strengthen ties of culture and religion. Last month, we announced reduction in fees for Sri Lankan nationals visiting National Museum in Delhi to see the Kapilavastu relics. We will bring our shared Buddhist heritage closer to you through an exhibition. Together, we will develop our Buddhist and Ramayana trails. My birthplace, Vadnagar, was an international center of Buddhist learning in ancient times. Excavations have revealed a hostel for 2,000 students in plan to redevelop the center. Mr. Speaker, a future of prosperity requires a strong foundation of security for our countries and peace and stability in the region. The security of our two countries is indivisible. Equally, our shared responsibility for our maritime neighborhood is clear. India and Sri Lanka are too close to look away from each other, nor can we be insulated from one another. Our recent histories have shown that we suffer together and we are more effective when we work with each other. Our cooperation helped deal with the devastation of tsunami in 2004. As a Chief Minister, I was pleased to share our experience in reconstruction after the Bhuj earthquake in 2001. Our cooperation is also integral to our success in combating terrorism and extremism. For both of us, local threats remain, but we see threats arising in new forms and from new sources. We are witnessing globalization of terrorism. The need of our cooperation has never been stronger than today. The Indian Ocean is critical to the security and prosperity of our two countries, and we can be more successful in achieving these goals if we work together, build a climate of trust and confidence, and we remain sensitive to each other's interests. We deeply value our security cooperation with Sri Lanka. We should expand the maritime security cooperation between India, Sri Lanka, Maldives to include others in the Indian Ocean area. I often say that the course of the 21st century would be determined by the currents of the Indian Ocean. Shaping its direction is a responsibility for the countries in the region. We are two countries at the crossroads of the Indian Ocean. Your leadership and our partnership will be vital for building a peaceful, secure, stable, and prosperous maritime neighborhood. In our deeply interconnected lives, it is natural to have differences. Sometimes it touches the lives of ordinary people. We have the openness in our dialogue, the strength of our human values, and the goodwill in our relationship to resolve them. Mr. Speaker, Sri Lanka and India are at a moment of a great opportunity and responsibility for realizing the dreams of our people. This is also a time for renewal in our relationship, for a new beginning and new vigor in our partnership. We have to ensure that our proximity always translates into closeness. We were honored that President Sirisena chose India as its first destination last month. I am honored to be his first guest here. This is how it should be between neighbors. Tomorrow, we'll go to Talai Mannar to flag off the train to Madhu Road. This is part of the old India-Lanka rail link. I recall the lines of a famous song, Sindhu Nidyani Misai, composed by the greatest nationalist poet Subramaniam Bharati in the early 20th century. Singala Tiva Kin Vakyanora Palam Ammai Pom. We shall construct a bridge of Sri Lanka. I have come with the hope of building this bridge. A bridge that resets and strong pillars of our shared inheritance of shared values and vision of mutual support and solidarity, of friendly exchanges and productive cooperation, and above all, belief in each other and our shared destiny. Thank you once again for the honor to be with you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Excellency. Votes of thanks, Honorable Prime Minister.
Honorable Speaker, it gives us great pleasure to have in this House and to address us Sri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India. It's a visit, I might say, that was long overdue, and you, sir, have fulfilled it, starting a new chapter and a closer relationship between our two nations. You described our parliament as being vibrant. I must tell Sri Narendra Modi that is an understatement, and at the moment you are seeing it in its most subdued hour. But that is the essence of democracy. We have the oldest parliament in Asia. Our history goes back to the Legislative Council of 1835, and we have here today in this House a descendant of one of its original members, Arumugam Pille Kumarasamy. That's our Minister of Resettlement, Mr. D.M. Swaminathan. You've traced our history of the universal franchise, our Westminster system. But as you rightly said, it's not only the Westminster system. The world forgets that the history of popular assemblies are not confined to Greece. It is much older, from the republics of the Ganges plain, the Lichavi republics, to whom Gautama the Buddha preached that as long as you live and meet in harmony, as long as you discuss in harmony, and as long as you depart in harmony, that a country cannot go into decay. And that's what we ourselves are trying to achieve today in Sri Lanka. How do we, from a Westminster tradition, move towards a more cooperative culture while keeping the identities of political parties and the natural struggle for power which should come in a democracy during the election time. But our traditions are not confined merely to the Lichavians, or as we all know very well, the bringing of the doctrine of Gautama the Buddha by Reverend Mahinda. We are actually a successor to the Mauryan traditions, a tradition which lived in Sri Lanka through the Anuradhapura and the Polonnaruwa kingdoms long after it ceased to be so in India. We developed our ruling systems, our cities, and even our culture, our language of the Sinhalese are based on Pali. All this is a part of our Mauryan heritage, to which we added a hydraulic civilization unparalleled in this region. But, Honorable Prime Minister, it has not been a one-way journey. The original Tamil kingdom was established with the help of a Sinhala prince of Anuradhapura, Prince Manavamma, who commanded one of the armies of Narasingha Varman, the king of Pallava, who defeated Pulakeshin and the Chalukyan kingdom to establish the first Tamilian kingdom in South India. A relationship which had Sri Lanka and the Pallava kingdom, with Kanchipuram at the last center of Buddhism, in close collaboration, taking on, as I told you, self, the Pandyans, and then together with the Pandyans and Srivijaya, where we dominated the Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal until the Cholas defeated all of us and became the ruling power. So we have been a part and parcel of that history, a history which has actually been even brought closer by modern Sri Lanka, modern India, two countries which also inherited not only our past, but also a language of English, the traditions of the supremacy of law, of legislature, of cabinet government, and more recently, that of cricket. We are, in fact, two sides of the same coin, traveling on a same journey, peace and prosperity for our people and security for the region. We have a common destiny. As you pointed out, we were the richest region in the world in the 16th century. We have to now achieve that again. And Indo-Lanka relations again will be the foundation stone of converting our region back into the prosperity, as you yourself emphasized in your speech. It should also be based on trade. And I must thank you for granting the visa on arrival, the e-visas, which will be a starting point. You have given us a thought-provoking speech, and it is certainly a valuable contribution to the process that we have to start from here. We are We are also happy to see, I must say, an Indian government which is focusing and giving priority to a policy orientation on its neighbors and the Indian Ocean region. The success of this will lie on how we give a new life to SAARC, to making it a platform for leaders, for the political leaders of the region to exchange the ideas and to give new life to the Indian Ocean region. And in that, I would like to say to Sri Narendra Modi, India has the leading role to play and the responsibility. We too have our own role, and together we can do this journey. So what you have given to us is the opening where we can transform the lives of our people and of the region. And on behalf of this House, let me say thank you for all the assistance and also for opening a new chapter for close cooperation between our two countries. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Your Excellency Sri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished invitees. As the Leader of the Opposition, I feel honoured and privileged to propose the vote of thanks on Your Excellency's historic visit to the Parliament of Sri Lanka. And let me take this opportunity to...
So that was the live from Sri Lankan Parliament. Just a short while back, we heard Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe saying that Indo-Lankan relation will be the foundation stone. Before that, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed Sri Lankan Parliament where he said we will continue, India will continue our development cooperation. There's enormous potential for India-Sri Lanka cooperation, and that increasing connectivity between both our nations is what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister also said that the need of a cooperation has not been stronger than what it is today. We must work together, build a climate of trust and confidence, and value each other's interests and concerns. Of course, the Prime Minister then also said that Sri Lanka and India are at the moment of great opportunity and responsibility for realizing the dream of our people of both our nations. We have to ensure that our proximity translates into inclusiveness, is what the Prime Minister said while addressing the Sri Lankan Parliament. Said that we must Indian Ocean security also. He spoke about Indian Ocean security is critical for us. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the Sri Lankan Parliament just a short while back. We got you that live address by the Indian Prime Minister there in Sri Lankan Parliament. You're watching Doordarshan News. Let's take a look at the headlines.